Guys, today we've got Nike canceling one of the most anticipated sneakers that we're going to drop this year. The pair of Jordans that is going to take over 2025. And I literally just stepped off of a 12-hour flight from China, so what did I miss? Welcome to Sneaky Sundays. It feels good to be back. Now, like I said, I was in China for an entire week in one of the wildest cities I have ever been to. It's called Chongqing. And some of the videos I got out there is just absolutely insane. We went sneaker shopping. I found early sneakers. I found exclusive sneakers. I found luxury designer stuff for like 40% off discounted. All of that content is coming very, very soon. I am so excited to show you guys. But of course, let's get into some of this news, some of this upcoming stuff, which is actually looking pretty exciting. First things first, top 10 sneakers of 2024, according to the Nike SNKRS app, and it is dominated by Travis Scott. Who could have guessed that? So I'm assuming they're going off of like the most entries because they're saying the most wanted styles. That man has 4 sneakers in the top 5. Number 1 being the medium olives, number 2 being the velvet browns, which is actually pretty surprising, but I guess it was kind of the second best colorway that dropped this year. Italian camo Kobe's, I don't know if I necessarily expected. I mean, it kind of seems like that would make sense, but one of the most entered for. J Balvin 3 squeaked it onto the list, which is pretty cool. Trophy Room 1s, Futura Dunks definitely deserves to be there. Number 6 is the military blues. I thought these would be higher. A couple of releases that are happening very, very soon that you need to know about. First thing is the Black Cat 3s. We know these are going to be dropping on January the 11th. That is this weekend or the weekend upcoming. And I really want to know from you guys, we've been looking at the leaks for a while now. Are you actually excited about this pair of shoes? Because I think a lot of people are going off of the hype of the Jordan 4 Black Cats and they're like, yo, they're $1,000 Jordans, and they keep on talking about that in relation to these 3s. But is there much crossover, or do you just consider this a solid black 3 and you're like, I'm kind of good? People are eagerly awaiting February to roll around because we are going to be getting the black metallic 5s, which I think is got to be one of the biggest drops of 2025. February the 8th, these things are dropping. Again, this is just a quick reminder because we have been taking a look at the leaks. These are all of the official images, definitely on my must-cop list. In fact, I'm going to try get a pair ASAP so we could take a look at it on the channel. This one's just kind of up in the air. I don't know how many people are excited about this or not, but we've got the Travis Scott Nike Zoom Field Jacks, the light chocolate colorway. These are dropping on the 17th. Really nice colorway. I'm just not entirely sure how many people are actually like super excited about this pair of shoes. The OG Spiridons, I don't think flew off of shelves. I believe they're still in stock as far as I'm aware. Those dropped in December, and I just don't know if even Travis Scott can really make this pair of shoes a must-cop for a lot of people. But if you did want to try this pair of shoes out, this is definitely the colorway to do it with. Now, you know how we've been talking about all of these crazy Jordans that are going to be dropping this year in 2025, like all of the crazy retros and stuff like that. Up until now, Jordan Brand has kind of been silent on all of this like huge year that they're just about to do, but they just dropped a advertisement basically going over the history of Jordan 1. This is all leading up to the release of the Bred pair that's going to be dropping in February. This is actually a cool ad. We're not going to watch the whole thing. They basically go through a little animation talking about all of the different things about the Jordan 1, like how it was banned, how they had to pay fines for every time Michael actually wore them during a game. All of the history that, you know, we know as sneakerheads. We've heard this over and over again, but it's pretty cool to hear it told by Nike, especially in correlation to a release like this. And it also gets me a little bit excited that they are going to put some effort into the release of this. I mean, they better, because these things are $250. These are the latest images that we just got of this pair of shoes. You can see this is the actual 85 cut. It looks like the box is just going to be regular. You might get some special like paper in there or something like that. As far as I can tell, it's pretty much OG, $250. And again, these are going to be dropping on February the 14th, Valentine's Day. Jordan Brand just introduced us to these horrors. This is the Air Jordan 1 Brooklyn Low in black pony hair, and this is the most curb stomping shoe that I have ever seen. You got like this little steel toe plaque on right at the front of the shoe which says Air Jordan. One of the most surprising things about this pair of shoes is that it's only going to retail for $150. It seems like you get a lot of shoe for that price, specifically in the midsole. The freaking sole of these things is just so much bigger than the top of it. It looks so crazy, but yeah, this is obviously a woman's pair, some kind of platform shoe, which almost looks like a freaking pair of stilts. You get a briefcase with it, which is interesting, maybe because they're so heavy you need it to carry that. Either way, no exact release date on these, just sometime spring 2025. Let me know if any of you are rocking with these. This one's pretty cool. So New Balance has just unveiled or previewed a bunch of different models for 2025. It seems like they're just kind of pumping out a bunch of different leaks to be like, hey, we're still here. So the first one to kind of note is that the 1906 is still going to be in their kind of forefront of their marketing. They're going to be pumping out a bunch of different colorways. We've got 6 to take a look at here. A gold, pink, and white pair. We've got a black and silver pair, which is really nice. Navy, silver and navy, gray and silver, and then a black and gray. All pretty decent colorways, nothing too crazy. All are going to be dropping at some point this year for $155 a piece. Then we got another Concepts New Balance 740 collaboration, the Brute colorway. These are actually dropping very, very soon, January the 10th. This is not a bad color. It's like a lime green with some kind of darker green for the midsole. Not bad, but I do prefer the one that they just did like back in December on the 740 as well. So I think that's the kind of the one that you would probably opt for instead of these. Then we've got 2 new colorways of their increasingly more popular loafer, which I think people are just, you know, kind of easing onto. It's like at first they were like, wow, what the hell is that? And now more and more people are like, you know what, I can kind of get with that. And even me, like the more I see them, especially in like this colorway, I'm like, I might even try them out. This one is gotta be my favorite colorway that they've done so far. It's like a silver with some sail accents to it, which is very aesthetically pleasing. Obviously the little black piping around it as well. Definitely leans more into the sneaker vibes with this specific color. Either way, no specific release date on this pair, just at some point this year for $160, which is pretty expensive. Then we've also got the black and silver pair, which is also very nice. Again, no specific release date, just at some point here in 2025. This one I'm actually pretty excited for. We're getting a 1906 winter version. Now, I believe this is the 1906W, but I have also seen it called the 1906M. Not entirely sure if they're 2 different things, but specifically what I'm talking about is this meshing that they've got on the top, or these like overlays that make this cage. So we've got 3 colorways specifically in this Phantom Fit variation. It's basically a material that's meant to deliver ultralight support without sacrificing ergonomics. It's usually hidden internally, but the 1906W sees a diamond pattern Phantom Fit exterior. So that's what you're seeing with this design around the upper. It could make these things feel pretty interesting on foot. Nevertheless, if you want to try this specific model out, you've got 3 different colorways, navy, white, and black. All 3 pairs drop at some point in 2025, no specific release date. Right, now let's get into some of these Jordan leaks because we got quite a few that I've missed out on. First one, let's talk about the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 4 Firewood Orange because they are significantly different to the leaks that we had. So these look far more red, at least in these shots, than a firewood orange. I guess maybe firewood a little bit more reddish, but this is them already on foot, which is interesting to see. And we've only got this one shot, so not really much to go off of, but at least you can kind of tell that they're going with a little bit more of a red color as opposed to like the, I think it was like Volt Orange that was initially leaked. So you looks like you've got some nice materials like some suede, maybe some tougher leather around the toe box, which looks pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to see him do a regular pair of Jordan 4 as opposed to the RMs. It's clear that Nigel loves the Jordan 4 silhouette. Either way, these are going to be dropping at some time summer or fall during the later part of this year. And of course, it's going to have the bike air on the back, but we can't see it with this shot. So as soon as we get better images, I'll let you guys know. We just got some detailed looks at the upcoming Air Jordan 5 Earth colorway dropping January 22nd. This is them over here. I can't remember if we took a look at some early leaks of these or not, but these are like the official shots of these things. Really nice. The only thing that throws me off from this pair of 5s is the golden tongue. Not a fan of that. Like, it's okay, the golden accent being on the midsole with like the shark teeth, but on the tongue it just looks a little bit cheap. Also not the biggest fan of the little lace lock here being like some kind of red color. I just wish that they kept it a little bit more with like the mocha vibes, you know, just the brown, the sail, maybe some of the white I think looks good, but the gold and the red is just not really my thing. Interesting and also pretty random leak that we got of a pair of FRGMNT Jordan 3s that never came to be. It was a sample from 2020. Obviously they went with the inverse version of this, but this is not a bad pair. I don't know which one I prefer. Probably the white one. Like, this one just seems like a lot of black, but it's interesting to see this, and it's also interesting to see like this pop up now right when we're starting to get more and more FRGMNT sneakers pop up. Like, they just did the Spiridons, and we know what sneaker they're doing later on this year, but we will talk about that in a minute. Either way, let me know if you prefer these or the ones that actually dropped. This one's a pretty annoying piece of news because I was really looking forward to to this pair of shoes, the Air Jordan 4 Varsity Red Nike SB collab is no longer dropping. It has been cancelled. Now, we did talk about this. We said this a couple weeks back that it's looking likely that Jordan Brand is going to be cancelling some shoes, and I think we even highlighted this one as a probability. So now it's been confirmed. Yeah, the Varsity Red colorway is not going to be dropping. This one, I don't know if it was my favorite because we were supposed to be getting 2 this year, which was also pretty random. I guess it makes more sense that they only do 1 every year. Either way, if you were looking forward to this pair of shoes, it's not happening. But what is happening is, of course, the Midnight Navy colorway, which arguably, you know, could be cleaner. According to some people, it definitely does have a really good look to it. So this is the first little video we've got of them, the first look of this pair of shoes, and it's pretty much identical to all of the leaks that we saw. It's identical to the pine greens, just literally swapped the green for this navy blue. Literally the only thing that's changed is the color, and yes, people are still going to go absolutely nuts for that. Here's another shot of these things, which is a much worse image of them. It's got like a bunch of different watermarks all over it. Either way, this is scheduled for a March 2025 release, no specific date in March, and they're going to cost $225. Let me know down in the comments which one you prefer, the Nike SB Pine Greens, the OGs, or this new navy color. Sticking with Jordan 4s, we just got first looks at what's probably going to be one of the most popular sneakers of 2024, and of course, I'm talking about the white cement. So this is them over here. Again, a bunch of damn watermarks all over it, but you can see it's pretty much exactly what you would have expected. Pretty much a true to what we were picturing, an OG white cement Jordan 4. You got the Nike Air branding on the back. You got the gray and black speckling on all of the accent areas. They're looking clean. They're looking good. And yes, multiple pairs will be necessary. I'm going to need at least 2. So yes, this pair of shoes is going to be probably sneaker of the year for a lot of people, or like at least most anticipated. A lot of people are going to be after these. And I feel like this 2025 is just going to be a rough year for any Jordan 4s that are just kind of like GR colorways, because we're also getting undefeated 4s. So that's the Nike SBs, the white cement, and the undefeateds, which is on everybody's must cop list. One of the latest updates for this specific collaboration is that there's going to be 2 different versions. We did speak about this a while ago, but we have some images to accompany it with. These are not actually of the 2025 version, but you can see a little mock-up. One's going to have the Nike Air branding, the other one's going to have the Jumpman. I don't know how they're going to do this release. It seems pretty weird that they're doing 2 different versions. I wonder if they do some kind of special release for it, like maybe it's completely random and you don't know which pair you get. That could be interesting, but dropping both would be pretty strange. I don't know if I would have ever seen that before. These, of course, retail for $225, which I feel like they could have probably charged $250 and still completely sold out of these things. This, what you're looking at here, is the 2017 pair, so nothing new in terms of new images for this pair of shoes, just the fact that we're getting 2 different versions and that they're going to be dropping at some point. I think it's June or July. And let me know down in the comment section, if you could only pick one, which one would you go for? The undefeated 4s, the white cement 4s, or the Nike SB navies? Which one? Ma Maniere and Nike just keep on going, huh? They're not stopping. Now we're getting a triple white Air Force One, which is dropping this year. So we just had the, I guess you would call it tan or pink colorway that dropped. Then we found out that we're getting a triple black colorway, and now we're getting a white one. So these are some shots over here. I believe these are mock-ups because we haven't actually had any official images. Obviously, these things only drop September 2025, but the basics are that we're getting an all-white colorway, which is pretty straightforward. I don't know, maybe people will be a little bit more excited about the white colorway. I can't see them doing anything crazy, but I mean, it is a really nice pair in terms of quality and everything like that. So if you wanted a crispy pair of Forces that are way better quality than most other Air Forces, this could be a solid option. We just got some really good images of the upcoming Travis Scott Fragment Jordan 1 lows that are going to be dropping later on this year, and this is them looking really high quality. Like, now you can see with these detailed shots like how thick that leather is. They're definitely keeping this true to like the highs that dropped when was that, like a couple years ago, 2021. So yeah, really nice leather quality, really nice blue on them, the sail midsole. This is how Travis Scott should go out with the Air Jordan 1 low. Like, if this is the last one, the 10th and final Jordan 1 low that they do, it's a solid way to go out on a high note where I know like everybody's going to be breaking their necks for these things, and it also would just kind kind of be like, you know, we've done enough of the Jordan 1 low. Let's move on to something else. Maybe even do some more highs or something like that, or some other Jordan models. But I would say this could be a good way to just kind of, you know, at least give them a break. Fragment branding just stamped into the back over there. Of course, the Cactus Jack smiley face, and we've got the embroidery for Cactus Jack as well. It's the Air Jordan Wings logo. These are looking really good. I cannot complain about them at all. The only thing is just they're going to be impossible to buy. Let me know what you think of these down in the comment section. Again, this is going to be a full release. I believe it's like September the 3rd, as far as I'm aware. And yes, different images look different. Like this blue looks way darker than this one. It's all just the lighting in the shot. As soon as we get some official images, I will let you guys know. We also just got first looks at the upcoming Flu Game 12s, which are going to be dropping later on this year. This is them over here, and they put the flash on or something for this image because they kind of look a little bit greasy. But I mean, with better shots, they will just be like, you know, true to the OG, as good as you could want them to be. This is on most people's must-cop list. I think the last one was 2016 for this pair of shoes, and yeah, they look good. In my opinion, they look pretty much exactly how I would want them. Let me know if you have any issues with these things, but yeah, they're going to be dropping fall 2025. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Lil Yachty just showcased his next Nike collaboration, and it's almost like he took all of the feedback from the first drop that he did with those Air Forces, being like, everybody's saying that they're too plain, they're too simple. And he was like, all right, let's turn this creativity up. He has got the Concrete Boy Bapestas in the building. He went all out. And maybe this is why Nike decided to sue Bape, so that they could take some of these like crazy patent leather Bape style colorways and just throw them on their different releases. So yeah, it's basically yellow, red, and green with the Concrete Boy logo at the back over here. It's an interesting move. It's definitely very Lil Yachty. Like, I could definitely imagine him wearing these with his type of style. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know about the average person though, like just, you know, slipping your feet into these things and walking around. It's definitely a very loud option, especially with the patent leather. These are going to be dropping at some point during the summer, but these are the only shots that we have, Lil Yachty leaking them, so let's keep it moving. One thing that I'm really excited for in 2025 is the updates to Nike's running shoe category. We've got two different sneakers which I think are going to be very, very good. First one is the Nike Vomero 18. We've got a first look at a bunch of different colorways that are going to be dropping in this model. So first off, we've got this one over here, a sail in red, which looks pretty cool. Fun fact, this is the tallest stack of foam that Nike has added to one of their Vomeros. It's extremely thick and it's supposed to be ultra comfortable. Obviously, you've got the Zoom X. They mixed it with React X as well, so the combination should be very interesting underfoot. We've got this green pair, which is also pretty cool. This Vault green pair, this sail one, which I think is the one I'm going to be after. And these are all going to be dropping very, very soon. I believe at the end of this month or maybe February time. But also another pair which is probably going to be even more interesting and even more insane is the Nike Pegasus Premium, which is going to be dropping this month. So this one is crazy. We've only got this shot over here, but I've seen some people testing it, some videos as well, and they look incredibly comfortable. So they've got this full-length Air Zoom unit, and they mix that with Zoom X, I believe, on the top and the bottom, like these two layers of foam, and it just squishes down so perfectly. And I think that these have a really nice visual look as well. So like running, casual, whatever you want to use these things for, I think it's going to be really good. But obviously, I'm going to have to test them out. January 30th is the release date for these. $210 though is pretty expensive, although this is the premium version, so you can expect to pay a lot more for this than like a regular Pegasus. Also dropping this month is the Chicago slip-ons. We got the Air Jordan 1 Mule Golf pair, which is going to be dropping. I think they just did the Breds, I believe, and now they're doing the Chicagos. These are going to be dropping on the 17th of January for $110. I know a decent amount of people are actually going to be really interested in these. Like, you wear some baggy pants and there's kind of like a little chilled out vibe. They're actually decently comfortable, and obviously this being like the golf version, like it's still all rubber underneath. You don't have like the plastic spikes or the metal spikes or anything like that, so these are perfectly able to be walked around in casually. We just got news that Nike and Supreme are going to be teaming up to drop some more Air Forces in 2025. We've got two, I guess, alternate colorways. We've got a white with a black Nike swoosh, of course the Supreme box logo. Now these are just going to be the exact same as the original ones, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be after these because they always are. Whenever it comes to Nike Nike and Supreme, these things will sell out. They're dropping September 30th. And it's also worth mentioning that this is a speculative mock-up and it could be slightly different, which I hope so. Do something a little bit different. This is an interesting post, which I had no idea existed. Fear of God is just as down bad as Adidas Yeezys are, because they were found in Sports Direct on sale. Now, again, if you're not from the UK, Sports Direct is basically like a budget-friendly shopping place. So when like Yeezys were found there, that was pretty crazy because like you would never imagine Yeezys being at Sports Direct. But now we got Fear of God and we've got Yeezys at Sports Direct, which is pretty crazy. But speaking of Yeezy without Adidas, they seem to be making some pretty big moves in 2025 because they just dropped a brand new collection. This is it, a ton of stuff. It's cool to see Ye still sticking with this $20 clothing line that he's doing. Everything that you see in front of you is just 20 bucks. Now, of course, I made a big purchase. I ordered a bunch of different colors and different items that they got over here because, of course, we got to check that out. $20, how good can it actually be? I will say it does look better than the other Vultures merch, like with the lines and like the weird shaped clothing. Wasn't the biggest fan of some of those pieces. Some were okay, but one thing I will say is that these hoodies, if they're the same as the other Vultures, was it the Vultures merch? Whatever the gray hoodie was, like I do actually really like that one because it's just like quite a cozy vibe, even though the material feels like as thin as you would ever feel on a hoodie. So we got hoodies, we got a rain jacket, which I think we've seen Kanye wearing over and over again. We've got a long coat, also some kind of rain jacket. We got shorts, which I think we've seen him wearing as well. We've got sweatpants, some cuffed sweatpants, socks, which obviously like for $20, you might as well pick up some of the other stuff instead. T-shirts, some plain t-shirts, some slightly like, I think these are like slim fitted ones, a blank hoodie, some more rain jackets, which is pretty interesting. Like for 20 bucks, can you really go wrong? If you wanted some basic stuff, 20 bucks, you might as well, even though I don't really have faith that we're even going to get this stuff this year. I mean, shipping, I imagine, is going to take forever. I think it says here, where does it say, if I try and check out, what does it say the shipping time is? Shipping can take between 8 to 10 weeks. That is the timeline for all of these Yeezy products. So yeah, I would probably expect to order and then maybe get it within the next 2 to 3 months. But that wraps it up for this week, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we do this every single Sunday. So if you don't want to miss out, make sure you're staying in the loop. And of course, we've got some banger China content coming up this week and you do not want to miss that. But in the meantime, if you want to check out another video, just click that one right over there.